Is homework number 4, factoring quadratics. So first one, we have b squared plus ab plus 7. So if you guys want to write down the coefficients, we got a is equal to 1, b is equal to 8, and c is equal to 7. So now you guys do your x method. So with x method, right, on top, you have a times c. So 1 times 7 is 7. And on the bottom, you have your b coefficient, which is 8. Now you have to ask yourself, what two things multiply to 7, but when you add it, gives you 8. And that's 1 and 7. And since it's 8 equals 1, we pretty much have our factors. So we have b plus 1 and b plus 7. Okay, number 2. Number 2, we have a is equal to 1, coefficient of 1. This has a coefficient of negative 11, and the c has coefficient of 10. So now we do our x method. So two numbers that multiply, that gives you a times c. That's 1 times 10, which is 10. And your guys' b value is negative 11. So what two things multiply to 10, but when you add it gives you negative 11. So I told you guys in class, write down all the factors if that helps you. So from this list, okay, the only two factors that I see of 10 that can add up to negative 11 is 1 and 10, and both of them have to be negative. So negative 1 and negative 10. So since this is a is equal to 1, our factors are pretty much n minus 1 times n minus 10. Groovy. All right, 3. So we have a is 1, b has a coefficient of 1, and c is negative 90. So using the x method, two things that multiply, or a times c is negative 90, 1 times negative 90, and our b value is 1. So again, ask yourself that question. What two things multiply to negative 90, but when you add it, it gives you 1. So right now, I'm just writing all the factors of 90. 1, 18, 6, 15, and 9, and 10. So out of all of these, the two factors that could possibly give you 1 is 9 and 10, and we would subtract them, right? So we know it's 9 and 10, but which one has to be negative? And it has to be the 9, because negative 9 plus 10, you guys, is 1. So there we go. And since a is equal to 1, we have factors n minus 9 times n plus 10. Keep on forgetting to box these. All right, number 4. We have a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to negative 12. X method, so a times c up top, negative 12. Our b below is 4. Two things that multiply to negative 12, but when added gives you 4. So factors include 1, 12, 2, 6, and 3 and 4. So 2 and 6 is the only possible option. So then this is going to be 6. Oh, that cut out. Let me see here. Okay, sorry about that. So again, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, c is equal to negative 12. So we got negative 12 up top, 4 on the bottom. Two things that multiply negative 12, but when added gives you 4. That is 6 and negative 2. So 6 and negative 2. And then sorry. This is where you guys should zoom past. Okay, 6 and negative 2. And since a is equal to 1, we just got n plus 6 and minus 2. Five. A is 1, B is negative 10, and C is 9. X method. So A times C is 1 times 9, which is 9, and B is on the bottom. So two things that multiply to 9, but then added gives you negative 10. That is negative 9 and negative 1. So then, since A is equal to 1, this is our factor, so n minus 9, and then n minus 1. Alright, so again, use that factors list, you guys, if that helps you, but if not, then you guys can just do it based on what you know. Alright, 6. So for 6, A is 1, B is 16, C is 64. We're going to do X method, so A times C up top, 1 times 64 is 64. B on the bottom is 16. So two things that multiply to 64, but when added gives you 16, that is 2 8s. Since A is equal to 1, so B plus 8 times B plus 8. You can write it like that, or you guys can write it like this, because there's 2 of them. Okay, number 7. Okay, number 7. So A is equal to 1, B is 2, C is negative 24. Two things that multiply to... Oh, sorry, I need to do my X method. So on top, A times C is negative 24, and on the bottom, it's 2. So two things that multiply to negative 24, but when added gives you guys 2. So I'm going to show you guys factors of negative 24 first to give you guys a visual. So the only option is 4 and 6. So that means 6 has to be positive and negative 4 has to be, or 4 has to be negative. And then put it in factor form, so n plus 6 times n minus 4. Again, you guys do not need that, but if it helps you, then go ahead. Alright, 8. A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 4, and C is equal to 24. X method, A times C up top, so 24, and B on the bottom for negative 4. Now, this is pretty much the exact same list as this, except it's positive now, which is fine. Oh, that eraser is too big. Alright, so now from this list, I do not see anything that if I added or subtracted, it would give me negative 4. So this tells you guys this is not factorable. There is nothing that multiplies to negative 20, that multiplies to 24, but then when added gives you negative 4. There's no integers that allow that, so that means this one's not factorable. So this one's just to demonstrate you guys, not all quadratics are factorable. Okay, 9. A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 13, and C is equal to 40. X method, so A times C up top, so 1 times 40 is just 40. And your B value is just negative 13. So what two things multiply to 40, but when added gives you negative 13. So that is going to be negative 8 and negative 5. Again, if you want to make that list, go ahead. Otherwise, you guys should practice not trying to use that list all the time. Okay, and since A is equal to 1, we got K minus 8 times K minus 5 as our two linear factors. And last one for part 1, you guys still have part 2. So A is equal to 1, B is equal to 11, and C is equal to 18. A times C up top, so that's 18. B on the bottom, which is 11. Two things that multiply to 18, but when added gives you 11. That is 9, and that is 2. And since A is equal to 1, we got A plus 9 times A plus 2. So that's your guys' video for part 1. If you have questions, just let me know tomorrow. And here's the next video is going to be part 2, okay? Later, guys.